The third meeting in championship weekend in 3 straight years for Boston College and Maryland. Winner today will claim themselves as national champion. And it is Maryland, Erica Evans with the draw control win as the Terps open up this national championship game.
And Brick, those draws going to be so important today. Sam, of course, one of the best in the country, but Maryland not too shabby as well. But it's a game of possessions, and Maryland has the first one.
Kaylee Hartshorn, 16 in white, controlling at the point. A Maryland team, 21-1 on the season. Caroline Steele on point, and Lauren Daly there for the stop. Lauren Daly, who came in as a backup in Friday's national semifinal in their win over North Carolina. She has proven herself, and it was a game in which she earned back the starting job.
She definitely did. She's had her big-time game experience as a junior last year, started all 24 games, split time her sophomore year, but this year she battled some sickness at the start of the season, and she and Abby Nye had rotated in and out, and Abby Nye getting most of the majority of starts the later half. But Lauren Daly, she proved it, and she earned it today, and they said that they were going to go with her before the start of this game.
And Gene, I think the first save for a goalie is always so important for confidence, not only for herself, but for the team that's playing in front of her. They now have confidence in her ability, and she's seen the ball pretty well early on. So that first save is always key for a goalie for confidence.
Especially going up against a team that put up 25 goals Friday night. You want to make sure you have the ability to stop them.
Slide comes from Maryland's defense, which is number 3 in the country. Kara Urbank, who had possession for the Eagles, tied her career high with 4 goals in the win against North Carolina.
So just watch the extension of arms here. They're calling just a push to the body. So you're not able to push or displace with the shaft of your stick. Not a great hash mark, just right on the hanging hash mark right now. So you don't have to take the shot.
Urbank check from behind, and that defense for Maryland so daunting with the likes of Shelby Mercer and Julia Brigg, the 2-time reigning Defender of the Year in the Big Ten. Erica Evans in transition. Steele loads up and fires, and Maryland strikes first.
That goal started with Julia Brigg. What a great clear, great pass up the field, perfect pass up the field in that transition offense for Maryland to get it from defense to offense that quickly. And then Caroline Steele does what she does best, finishes.
There, a beautiful job by Evans and Caroline Steele. Just the lefty rip. 7 goals in the Denver game in the NCAA tournament. Sees the space. Just look at the placement there. She had like 4 inches of room.
Kathy Reese pleased by the play of Caroline Steele to give Maryland the early lead in her 13th season for the Terps program, looking to get her 5th national championship as a player. She already has 11 coming in as an assistant, as a player. You add on the 4 as well. So Kathy Reese, who has been a fixture in the sport of women's lacrosse, on Friday picked up her 300th career win, and that win over the Tar Heels. And here for Maryland, they strike first with a 1-0 lead on Boston College.
Great handle by Kaylee Hartshorn.
And a turnover as Boston College is in control in their offensive zone for the first time in this game. Sheehan, if Boston College is going to come away with their first national championship, what's the key to victory?
I mean, at this point of the season, we're back to basics. Winning the possession battle. Starts with draw controls, the ground balls, calls turnovers, great defensive play. Even though Maryland gets the draw, they come up with the interception. They need to keep the ball out of Maryland's sticks.
Apuzzo, 2 in maroon, the reigning Tewaaraton winner, one of 5 Tewaaraton finalists, including Megan Taylor. In fact, we've got 4 of the 5 Tewaaraton finalists in this championship game this afternoon.
It's a great play by Megan Taylor. Even though that was a pass, sometimes goalies get tripped up by that. They're looking to see the pass, who's going to catch that. So very aware of her to come up with it in a quick clear out.
It's a great point. Yeah, sometimes those kind of sneak through. You're not aware they're coming. You don't see them. Don't have a good sight line on them, and they find the back of the cage.
Excellent defensive pressure by Boston College.
Great ride.
This is a Maryland offense that has been averaging 20 goals a game in the NCAA tournament. They had wins against Denver and Stony Brook to get into championship weekend for the 11th straight year. Came up with the victory over Northwestern behind 25 goals in the semifinal victory.
Gee, that's pretty incredible. You think about it, 3 NCAA tournament games against top 20 opponents.
Shot high, that misses off the stick of Grace Griffin, who had 4 goals in the semifinal victory.
To have 20 goals a game against those teams, incredible.
I really think the loss to Northwestern in that Big Ten championship really turned a light on for this Maryland team. They've always been so good, but that made them really focus, understanding that everyone was out to beat them, and they had to take care of the little things, and they made the necessary adjustments.
Kenzie Kent takes it in control for Boston College. On the run, shot misses to the left. Kent, who redshirted a year ago, missed out on the championship run against James Madison for Boston College, was in the stands in Stony Brook to watch James Madison win the program's first ever title. Here today, she's trying to get Boston College their first ever national championship.
She leads the nations in assists, also can go to goal, just excellent stick skills.
Apuzzo looking to feed, anticipated by the defense for Maryland. 50-50 ground ball, won by Boston College, and they can reset with 38 on the possession clock.
Sam has so much experience. That was a forced pass, though.
Arsenal off the pipe, and that resets the possession clock.
Going to be BC's ball. Gee, and I wonder, even with her experience, being the player of the year, being one of the greatest players we've ever seen in women's college lacrosse, is there a chance, even as a senior with that experience, that maybe Sam, because she wants this so badly, might be pressing a little bit early on?
You know, I think there's a lot of nerves coming into this stage. Both these teams want to win it. They've been in this experience before. They've felt the sting of the loss. So the nerves settle in, but I think that there's no such thing as really wanting it too much. You just want to make sure you play loose and not too tight.
Riatano lost possession for a moment. Boston College led by their trifecta of Dempsey Arsenault, Sam Apuzzo, and Kenzie Kent. But as we saw in the semifinal win, that double overtime win against North Carolina, it was the supporting cast that really propelled Boston College. Kent in front, that one ricocheted off a defender's stick. And Brigg on the clear, coming from Maryland. The second save of the game for Megan Taylor.
What a great play. We mentioned this in the semifinal game, but Maryland, in their walkthrough practice before those semifinals, they had a rebound board in the goal, and they were just firing off balls and having the defense just run those loose balls out. Those are so key, because the ball is going to have, you're going to see pipe shots, they rebound off, and it's who comes up with that scrum, and just really an area that they worked on I thought was very interesting.
And Brigg, just to expand on your point, the reason they needed contributions elsewhere at Boston College did in that semifinal game against North Carolina is simple. They were face guarding, double, triple teaming Sam Apuzzo, and they needed contributions elsewhere, and they got them big time. And I have a feeling they're going to need those today.
Griffin off the slide for Boston College. Giles on point. Daly can't find it. Final circles into the crease. And a clear coming up for Boston College. Daly, her second save. That was one of the biggest storylines to take away from that game against North Carolina, where both backups, Elise Hennessy and Lauren Daly, shined in that game for both the Tar Heels and Eagles.
Yeah, both of them played great. Really, probably the main storyline from that game was the goalie play, and it looks like Daly off to the good start today. So
she and Maryland with a 1-0 lead. Your keys for the Terps this afternoon?
I think they're going to need to contain Kent. She leads the nation in assists. When she gets the ball on the stick, the rest of the offense gets moving. So they're going to need to either just really put pressure on her and try to deny those feeds inside.
Kent, who had 5 goals, 5 assists in the title game against the Terps 2 years ago. Meanwhile, Boston College gets their first strike of the game. Kara Urbank, the junior. And we're tied up at 1 in Baltimore.
Great take by Kara Urbank, who was huge in the semifinal game against North Carolina. Just watch this quick little stutter step, gets some separation, drops it low. Just nice little bounce shot here, but Urbank's play is huge. Just the defenses are focused on Sam Apuzzo, Dempsey Arsenault, and Kenzie Kent, and Urbank really stepped up, and she's that 4th leading goal scorer for Boston College.
Acacia Walker-Weinstein in her 7th season with Boston College, having guided the Eagles to the NCAA tournament in each one of her 7 seasons, having the Eagles back in the championship game for the 3rd straight year. The former Terp, who was a national champion in her time in College Park.
and you guys mentioned Kara Urbank. She had a career-high 4 goals on Friday, and Urbank really capitalizes on the fact that defenders are not going to slide off of Puzo. Kent and Arsenal, you saw it right there. That defender did not slide to help when Urbank went one-on-one, and you're not going to win a championship with just 1 or 2, 3 players. Her emergence has made all the difference for BC this season.
And so as the draw control is won by Sama Puzo, they had a +8 advantage in the win against North Carolina. And you have to think, Stu Gotts, that's going to have to be one of the X factors if Boston College is going to come away with this victory.
Yeah, no question about it. I am fascinated. Maryland not going to slide there. What that means is there is no help defense. So, as we pointed out earlier, BC is going to need contributions elsewhere.
Ken, a beautiful one-on move past Taylor, and Boston College for the first time today has the lead.
BC early on in their offense creating lots of lanes for space. They do an excellent job clearing out for Kent. She's super dangerous as a feeder. However, she can take it to goal. Her 48 goals this season. Roll dodge, creates separation, and just the extra time here. Takes the time, throws in a couple fakes. Beautiful job. She's so loose with her stick, and that quick fake actually just causes for the swing on the deep end, and she gets herself free, and it'll put one in.
Kenzie Kent, who was a 2-sport athlete with Boston College, led the Eagles hockey team to 3 Frozen Four appearances. She, in the past, had joined the team midway through after the season was over. And yet here she is on the biggest stage in lacrosse history for this program, on the brink of a national championship. And many people have said, Sheehan, if Kenzie Kent was a part of this team last year against James Madison, would the result have been different?
I mean, that's such an amazing thing to think about. She, wanted to focus on lacrosse, so the issue wanting to sit out has given her the 100% ability to just zone in on lacrosse, have a fall ball season. But you have to think, she was playing, even just coming in for the later half of that season, she definitely could have chipped in a goal or 2 to make a difference. But not the case. They've had her back this year and just been such a dominant team and really gelled well together with the rest of the offense. And some would say Stu Gotts, the modern-day Deion Sanders?
Yes, the modern-day Deion Sanders. Yes, listen, I went back to the 80s twice during the semifinals. You have brought us back to the 90s, early 2000s, my friend.
Jen Giles, a Tewaaraton finalist, 5 in white. As Brindy Griffin off a career-high 6 goals in the win against Northwestern. One-on-one with Hannah Hyatt. Now the slide comes from the Eagles.
Great D up top there by BC.
Excellent fight for these 50-50 balls.
Quick restart for Caroline Steele. Has the first goal of the game for Maryland. Steele going low and gets past Daly.
Wow. It's been interesting. 2 goals, one for both teams, right outside the 8, right on that kind of perimeter of the 8 there. So taking some long-distance shots here, which normally these goalies would make that save, but these are 2 of the best shooters. Caroline Steele in particular, one of the best outside shooters in the country.
She's got an excellent outside shot, a lot of power in it. Watch her drop the level, goes one way, little rocker step, drops her stick low, the placement of the shot. She's got a great release point, very deceptive, so quick, and is able to drop her stick low, which gets her hands free. And the place, I love her celebration, clapping. She is fired up.
And Caroline Steele, I mean, I'm going to miss watching her play. She's just been one of those players that in big games, in big moments, she relishes the opportunity to step up. In Maryland's 2017 come-from-behind win against Stony Brook in the quarterfinals, it was Steele who scored the late to tie the game. She also netted the OT winner against UNC back in February. I just love how she plays so confident, and she's constantly stepping up on the big stage.
Hallie, she was impressive 2 years ago in Foxborough, 6 goals and an assist in the national title win for Maryland. And she mentioned to us this week in practice, it's a surreal moment to be playing championship weekend in her home state of Maryland, where Homewood Field hosting championship weekend for the first time since 2001.
And when you look around, you see a lot of red in the stands. Got a packed house here at Johns Hopkins. Great environment, but as a state school, a lot of fans coming out to support them.
That year in 2001 ended 7 straight national titles for Maryland. Part of the gold standard in women's lacrosse.
The where Kenzie Kent is dangerous from. And if you slide too quickly to her, she will dish.
Kent lobbing high in front, Taylor Walker.
They're going to call it, I believe, a goal circle violation.
Yes.
As a shooter, your stick can go into the goal circle and follow through, but your feet are not able to touch it or enter in.
Maryland, who has one of the best goalies in the cage, and Megan Taylor, a 4-time Big Ten Goalie of the Year, the only goalie who put up 14 saves in the win Friday against North Carolina, already with 4 saves against this Boston College onslaught of an offense. And one of the best personalities Stugat's in the game.
Yeah, no doubt. And Brick, I can't tell you how much confidence that gives a team knowing you have that kind of goalie. If everything breaks down, there's Megan Taylor standing there, standing tall, standing confidently, and making big saves. It gives your team so much confidence.
Especially against that Northwestern offense that was shooting lights out coming into this game, putting up big numbers.
It also allows your defense to take chances when you know you have that kind of goalie playing behind you.
And it helps that she's got over 700 career saves in her 4-year illustrious career at College Park. Hartshorn on cage, past Daly. What a shot by the junior, and Maryland retakes the lead.
Hartshorn as a junior, 47th goal this season. When she goes to goal, she goes to go hard. Watch these face, not much of an angle at all, able to slip that one. Maryland on top, it's 3-2.
The NCAA Women's Lacrosse Championships is brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
An amazing crowd on hand at Homewood Field on the campus of Johns Hopkins as Maryland and Boston College, the best 2 teams in all of women's lacrosse, in a battle thus far. 3-2, Terps have the lead on the Eagles. And for the first time in championship weekend history, all 5 Tewaaraton finalists playing in Baltimore. Today we see 4 of the 5s on the biggest stage.
Which is why these 2 teams are here. You have 4 of the 5 best players in the country, the 2 best teams in the country. I think before the season, Sheehan, if you ask just about anyone, they would tell you, yeah, I think Boston College, Maryland are going to meet up for the national championship, and that's what we have here. Number 1 versus number 2 in the country. Can't get any more exciting than that.
You're so right. We were talking about this matchup back in February. We knew these 2 teams weren't going to see each other in the regular season. They traded off being 1 and 2 throughout, undefeated. They were the last 2 undefeated teams in Division I. So this is a matchup that everyone's been waiting for. And the Tewaaraton finalists, I mean, just such amazing 4 programs that have made it to championship weekend. But you get to see them compete against each other, which I think it really helps. And usually your performance in the NCAA tournament really helps the selection committee.
We could see a goalie for the first time win the Tewaaraton. We could see a back-to-back winner in Sam Apuzzo, the first time since Taylor Cummings won 3 straight awards. The Tewaaraton, of course, the Heisman of lacrosse, the highest honor given to the player of the year in the sport. Now, if you're Boston College, you have to kind of like the start you've had compared to what happened against North Carolina, where you trailed 6-0. Here you're only down by 1.
Well, just about any start would have been better than the start they had against North Carolina, Brick. So yeah, you're feeling pretty good. Listen, you're not clawing back from a 6-0 deficit here. BC is fine. It's 3-2 early on here, and expect this type of game all afternoon. You can have a back and forth game with the 2 best teams in the country playing.
Kenzie Kent looking to feed inside that 8-meter arc off the post.
How many pipes have we seen today?
A lot. And that's so hard to defend because you don't know if Kenzie's going to go one-on-one off that wing there, because she loves to do that, or if that screen's coming, or if she's going to break off the screen and just make the cut like she did there.
3 saves for Megan Taylor as Steele looking to feed inside. Griffin underneath past Daly. Grace Griffin gives the 4th goal to Maryland. They've got a 2-goal lead.
And actually, we're going to see a yellow card issued on the play from Boston College as well for a check to the head. So Grace Griffin, who had another monster game in the semifinals, she along with Brittany Griffin, big-time scores. Grace Griffin, not related, but had 4 goals in that semifinal matchup. She just does an excellent job. I love the way she cuts to the center of the field, presents a big stick in there, is able to control the pressure, the handling of these offensive players, not rushing their shots.
And you have to love defense sparking offense. Almost every goal on that board has started with Maryland's defense eliminating Boston College's second opportunities. These defenders are doing a great job picking up those ground balls, and their middies are just off. They have so much trust that their D is coming up with the ball. Jen Giles was 15 yards ahead that play, making sure that her team got the fast break opportunity.
You can make the argument that Maryland has the best transition game of any team in the country. We saw that as Grace Griffin comes up with the strike, her 5th goal in championship weekend, and off the yellow card where Boston College gives up the draw control. It's Maryland with a 2-goal lead, and this is where they become so dangerous on the man-up opportunity.
They get the goal, they get possession at the draw as a result of the card, and then also now they are a player advantage right now. So Maryland has gotten really improved in this. You want to make sure you just move the ball when you have the player advantage, get the defense rotating and find the seam.
Maryland, who has scored on their last 3 shots, have taken a 2-goal lead in this national championship game.
Good play. Brittany Griffin was open about 2 seconds right before that. She doesn't rush that shot, which again is very key there. Draws a shooting space foul.
She's on that left half, so I'm wondering here, you have the perfect angle. What do you do here? Is
Take
this a
it
shot?
all day long.
Yep.
Yeah. Run in, get two, 3 steps, and then fire it low.
Griffin. And it stays with Boston College. Great clearing attempt upcoming for the Eagles.
So she tried to do exactly what Sheehan said. Tried to do exactly what she said, but Maryland defender gets a stick. BC defender gets a stick on that at the very last second.
Great switch to the field for Boston College.
Elizabeth Miller, who was last year's Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC. Now, Sheehan, if you're Boston College, Sam Apuzzo, the reigning Tewaaraton winner, had a slow start Friday against North Carolina. Here today has been isolated, 0 points. How does Boston College integrate her into this offense?
You got to get her the ball. So right now they're playing a person down right now. So they're probably just going to hold on to the possession a little bit so they get full strength. But you see just the man-up opportunity, 45 seconds left, and then the possession clock at 47 seconds. So they're going to need to attack while they are a player down, but you need the ball in Sam Apuzzo's stick. You want her feeling involved in the game, get those juices flowing.
Apuzzo, the nation's leading scorer at 91 goals coming into today. Had the miraculous game winner in double overtime against North Carolina on Friday.
So BC, right, they should start getting to their offense right now. About 20 seconds is where you'll see them to start attacking here.
We're going to see a foul off ball, so Julia Brigby called for a foul defending Sam Apuzzo. So now she gets the 8-meter. So the officials out there, they're looking at everything. The ball carrier, the play off ball.
Gee, that's always tricky for an offense when you're down 1 trying to kill a little clock, but you also want to be on the attack, and of course the shot clock, you have to keep that in mind as well.
Apuzzo fires it in. Taylor anticipated it the entire way. A good save by the Maryland goalie, and another opportunity wasted for BC.
Gee, you like that shot there by Sam?
You know, I'd like another 1 or 2 more steps in there. I always prefer the lower shot, especially on the 8-meter. The goalie is standing still with her stick already up there. She sees where the ball release point is. Some of these players shoot so fast, though, that they just pick their corners. Back to full strength for both teams.
The 2 best teams in all of women's lacrosse meeting in the national championship game for the 2nd time in 3 years. Boston College back in the championship game for a 3rd straight season. After losses to Maryland 2 years ago up in Foxborough, Mass. Last season at Stony Brook, they lost to the Cinderella story in James Madison. Giles dodging towards the cage, and Daly there for the stop.
Great job by the BC defense, just forcing Giles out to a lower angle shot. Daly held her pipe right there.
Daly, who was an integral part of last year's championship run in cage for the Eagles, along with that defense for Boston College, all of seniors, including Elizabeth Miller and Hannah Hyatt.
So Maryland defense opts not to face guard the majority of the time. Last time I saw them face guard was when they played Navy in the NCAA tournament. And Julia Collins had 6 of her 8 goals, and they went into a face guard at that point. But usually they'll play strong man on man, so will allow Apuzzo to be able to freely get the ball. I do think they want that Tewaaraton Award winner, the ball in her stick to generate some offense, and then she can create off of that.
Dempsey Arsenal just on the outskirts of that 8-meter fan. consistently looking to go to cage, and great anticipation off the slide by Maryland.
So it seems like BC really wants to get Kenzie Kent involved early here. They must like that matchup.
Well, the good things happen when the ball's in her stick. Maryland's doing a great job sending that slide early, but you can't see who the open BC player is. So they've got to present themselves, be in a position to get that ball. And oftentimes it's not the closest ball. The slide is coming a little bit further away, but all ball players need to be aware and not stand and watch.
Shelby Mercer, give credit to in white for the defense for Maryland causing that turnover, as Lizzie Colson, 25 in white, one of the best two-way middies in the game today for the Terps.
So many of her ground balls need double the weight of them. She does such a great job in between the lines. Really an excellent transition player, excellent off the circle.
Anna Werther, one of the 9 goal scorers in the semifinal win. Great pass, and on the run to the back of the cage. Grace Griffin with her second tally, and Maryland with their largest lead at 3.
So Maryland, sorry, Rick, tried to take that alley there, right down the alley. Slide came, double teamed, and the offensive player did what she's supposed to do there. Passed out of the double to a cutting offensive player for a beautiful goal here by Maryland.
And this is what's made Maryland's offense so difficult to defend. Everyone's a threat, and everyone is moving. So those off-ball players, they're aware of the slide. They're getting themselves in a position. The double team's there. Somebody's open. Grace Griffin gets in her position. Quick shot and score.
So because of the weather, as we're reaching close to 90 degrees, and it's even hotter on the field at Homewood Field here at Johns Hopkins, a mandatory water break for the players. The coaches are not allowed to be a part of the water breaks, and as while we step aside, NCAA coverage continues Thursday, May 30th, with the Women's College World Series starting at noon Eastern Time, live on ESPN. For more information on all NCAA championships, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. Alongside John Wiener and Sheehan Stanwyck-Birch, I'm John Brickley. Hallie Griggs, field level, joining us. The national championship game from Baltimore, Maryland. The best 2 teams in the country, BC and Maryland, fighting it out for the second time in 3 years. So far, it's lived up to the billing. It has been an intense game. Terps started off Caroline Steele with the magic early on, and Boston College has been able to answer, but right now facing their largest deficit.
Yeah, but they're not going to be rattled. Let's keep in mind, this is the team who in the national semifinal game was down 6-0 to North Carolina. So 5-2 doesn't seem nearly as bad for the Boston College Eagles. I do wonder, though, Sheehan, coming off that game, that emotional game, a game in which many people are calling the greatest women's lacrosse game we've ever seen, I do wonder from a player standpoint, coaching standpoint as well, how you get your team ready for another big game. I know it's a national championship game, but that game on Friday night felt like a national championship game. How do you get your team ready less than 48 hours later?
It definitely did. I mean, it was emotionally draining, the comeback, the back and forth, the multiple overtimes. However, Boston College has been in this position. I think they've learned from that. Last year in the semifinal game, they beat Maryland, and everyone was billing that. They thought those would be the 2 final teams. So that semifinal win was almost like a national championship win for them, beating a top team like Maryland. And then they came out against JMU, who was an excellent team, but struggled a little bit. So I think they've learned from that and realized not to get too high off the win on Friday night. They were calm and composed and realized that this is just the next step in next game. But great point, because it was, I was emotionally drained yesterday. So I mean, I can't imagine how they felt.
Step back. I'm just going to tilt you forward a little.
Great field levels, so you see the referees, the sticks, the shafts need to be parallel to that midfield line, and you cannot move until you hear the whistle.
Draw controls in favor of Maryland. Hartshorn, one of the best draw control specialists in the country out of Allentown, New Jersey. Was a freshman when Maryland won in Foxborough against Boston College in the national championship game. Their 13th national championship, looking for number 14 this afternoon. And now push from behind off the foul. Maryland will take possession with a 3-goal lead. After starting off 1 of 4, they have found their rhythm, finding the goal in 4 of their last 5 shot attempts.
Look at this creation of space from Maryland, overloading one side. This worked extremely well against Northwestern, forcing the slides to come from great distance.
Giles dodges towards the cage, through a double team. And they're calling it a no goal. It must have bounced off the pipe. Daly quickly on the clear for Boston College.
Several things could have been called there. Yes, it was no goal, it was off the post. There could have been a charge call there. I thought it was a good no call by the referees there.
Yeah, I mean, I thought she did force her way into there, so I think that I agree with them. That might have been an opportunity. You have 3 BC defenders on you, pull it out, and then recircle it back. So look at this replay. Oh, that's going to sting. Goes right off her leg. And then I think the pipe, too.
That net move a little?
No, it doesn't matter. So the net can move. That's been some of the discussion in the men's game in their NCAA tournament. The ball has to completely cross over the goal line for it to be a goal. So even it could potentially touch the net and bounce out, and that may not be considered a goal.
Kent looking to feed. Apuzzo just one shot so far. Arsenal off the stick of Taylor. What a save by the senior.
Anything you have to do as a goalie. She just got the tip of her stick on that just to get it over the crossbar and out of bounds. BC still has the ball.
Taylor with her 5th save. Apuzzo down the lane, and that one finally goes for the Tewaaraton winner. Her first, and Boston College is within 2.
She really surprised, considering it doesn't seem like they're sliding. It seems like Sam can get to the goal if she wants to get to the goal. And I'm just a little bit surprised it took Sam so long for us to finally see her first attempt at really going to the cage there.
92nd goal of the season for
Amazing.
Sam Apuzzo. Won the Tewaaraton last year. The defense is always focused on her. Just a little stutter step there. This actually tips off of Meg Taylor's stick right there. But because Apuzzo is moving to the right side, so is Taylor, and then that's just why it touches the top of her stick.
And as Sheehan mentioned, Maryland, a team that typically doesn't face guard. They're not going to try to take Kent, Arsenal, Apuzzo out. So already we see those 3, BC's big 3, handling the ball a lot more. We didn't see Kent or Apuzzo handle the ball this much in the entire game on Friday.
Callie, that's a great point. Apuzzo, who picked up a lacrosse stick in 4th grade, known to have a consumer of knowledge, according to her head coach, Acacia Walker-Weinstein. What does a goal, John, like that do for the best player in the country to spark a rally for Boston College?
It just gives her the team confidence, you know. That's really all it does. Not that Sam needs that much confidence. She knows she's probably the best player out here. But I think it gives her teammates some confidence. All right, Sam has finally showed up. Let's go. Let's get going here as a team.
She does so much for the team
She's
and
amazing.
be responsible. So for Apuzzo on the draw control is a huge part of her game. Her calls turnovers. You see her lose that draw control, but then she gets the check right back there and then putting in the goal number. So I think it's great to have just offensive rhythm.
And just to give an example, Sam's like having a coach on the field. Coach Walker Weinstein told us that in the Princeton game, the offense they were running was not working. Sam came to the sideline, said, you got to run X, Y, and Z. They did, and the offense took off.
And Griffin and this Maryland offense is taking off. Brindy Griffin coming off a career performance in the semifinal against Northwestern, where she had 6 goals. Maryland has their 6th goal, more importantly, a 3-goal lead.
This Maryland team is playing loose. The offense just is having fun. Griffin gets her defender tangled up, drops her stick low. Another just great release point. They're having fun out there. Maryland opted not to practice yesterday. They didn't finish their game on Friday night super late, so didn't get back to the hotel room till almost 1 in the morning. They ice bath, recovered, and what Coach Kathy Reese said was, I can't teach them that much in a day. You know, we've done, all the preparation's been done. The season started months ago. They know what to do out there.
Brindy Griffin, whose sister Brooke was an All-American at Maryland, here in attendance with many of the great stars from the past in Maryland history that has led this program to an unprecedented 13 national titles, looking for their 14th this afternoon.
They're the gold standard of women's lacrosse. They really are. They're amazing. But Brindy Griffin, to me, has been the most impressive player in this Final Four thus far. Just her speed and her quickness, her ability to get to the cage seemingly whenever she wants. Just been incredible in these 2 games.
Apuzzo with the draw control win for the Eagles. Apuzzo with that last goal for Boston College has now scored in 79 of her 80 career games played in Chestnut Hill. Just an amazing stat for an amazing athlete.
We're going to see another foul. Off ball for a hold. The crowd doesn't like that, but the officials, you got to look at off ball, and even when you're off ball, you're now able to push or displace your opponent with your stick. This is going to set up Kara Urbank. 4th in the team in points, 3rd in goals. Had that great semifinal game.
Gee, you try to tuck it and go here?
I go in. I love the 8 meters. You want to just move a little bit to your left to get a little separation on your right-hand stick side.
Urbank, too high off the crossbar. It will stay with Boston College with 60 on the possession clock.
And that's just, you get a lot of power by putting your stick back. However, the defense runs in so quickly. So a little tighter cradle and a release point. You don't have to put as much accuracy is over the power.
The flip from Kent to Arsenal. Boston College just 3 of 11 shooting in this game, and another foul.
Love the quick double teams from this Maryland defense. They're going to get whistled for the foul for the check across the body.
Boston College, who with a victory today would set the single season program record for wins with 23. Apuzzo with the left hand, and it will stay with Boston College with 20 and counting on the possession clock.
Starting to see Sam get more and more involved with this offense, being more of an offensive threat.
Great defense by Maryland, forcing the turnover.
Gene, you have to be so impressed with Maryland. Just the waves that they come at you with, this team speed especially. I'm not certain this isn't the fastest Maryland team I've ever seen. They're just so athletic.
Each year they graduate such big stars, but able just to reload, readjust. They will have a lot of big seniors that will lead the program this year that have left their mark, but they recruit so well.
Plays into the narrative, Sheehan, every year. You don't rebuild in College Park with this Terps program, you just reload. Anna Werther, Katie May, the future of the program. For Maryland trying to get their 14th national championship. Giles in front, trying to go cross field with it. Erica Evans, the transfer from Canisius, the hottest free agent she was called in the offseason, just turns it over. Great defense by Riotano on the move in transition. Here comes Boston College.
Great job by Maryland getting back on defense and stopping that fast break.
Kent tried to elude her defender.
A good take. The Maryland defense, they just are collapsing hard. I think Kenzie Kent could have taken that shot about a second before.
Sheehan, what is Maryland's defense doing to really putting a lot of confusion together for Boston College's offense?
They're really sliding fast, so they're not leaving any defender out on the island. That slide is coming super fast right there. We saw 2 defenders come and help. So collapsing in hard. So really just a great team communicating defense.
And Gene, it's also that second slide behind the original slide, right? So when someone slides off and they double teams, another BC player is going to cut, and Maryland's covering that cutter very well as in addition to that.
Maryland's defense forcing Boston College into 5 turnovers to begin this game. Terps a 3-goal lead, looking for their 3rd national championship in the last 5 years.
Riotano for Boston College, really marking Erica Evans super tight.
Megan Syverson, 37 in white, holding to possession, circles the crease, and the pass intercepted. A great job by Miller to dump it off to Daly.
That's great D by BC there, because stick on stick as the Maryland player was making the pass, and that's what caused the turnover there. Otherwise, Maryland had a wide open player streaking down the middle.
That is now the 5th turnover for Maryland in this game. Maryland's defense has essentially shut down the trifecta for Boston College of Apuzzo, Arsenal, and Kent. In fact, Kenzie Kent's the only one that's got a goal until Apuzzo finally got her first.
But we've seen this game, there's a game of runs, you can score so quickly.
Now a foul away from the ball.
So officials watching this closely, and that's good. When you're an off-ball player trying to get open, it can be very difficult when your defender is either detaining you, holding you, or pushing into your body. So like that they're calling the off-ball play.
Sets up Urbank for a free position shot. She's got one of the 3 goals for Boston College. Elects to pass it off.
Yeah, good decision there.
How many times, John, have we seen Maryland's defense force Boston College to use almost the entire 90 possession clock? As that shot, point blank range, and Megan Taylor anticipated it once again.
We've seen it often, but keep in mind, BC's strategy headed into this Final Four was they were really going to settle and try to control that clock and take their time in set situations on offense. So it's partly Maryland's defense and also BC's strategy to kind of run some clock every time they get the ball in settled situations.
Megan Taylor, who had 14 saves in the semifinal, here today has 6 in the first half for the Tewaaraton finalist. And now a timeout taken by Kathy Reese and Maryland. .5:29 left to go in this national championship game. The best 2 teams with the #1 ranking on the line. Well, it's been Heartbreak City for Boston College 2 years ago in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Maryland wrapped up their 13th national championship. The Eagles with their first ever appearance in program history in the title game. And then just last year, the Cinderella story, James Madison took everyone by surprise, taking down Boston College in the title game with a 1-goal victory. But yet, Sheehan, here is Acacia Walker-Weinstein, one of the best college coaches in the country, having her team once again with a chance to win a national championship.
They've been so close. They've tasted it. This year, much of the season at #1. They have avenged their loss. Both these teams, actually, their loss in their conference tournament. And they want to win. And this is a game they prepared for and battled and worked so hard for. But it's amazing. I mean, to be in this program, Maryland's done it quite a few times, getting back to championship weekend. However, BC 3 years in a row with this excellent senior class.
They want to win. They desperately want to win for this senior class, and of course Sam Apuzzo. But running into this Maryland juggernaut, it's just I almost feel bad for BC that this is the team they have to go through to get that elusive national championship.
And I think they want to, though, because there's sometimes there's teams that when you've gone up against them, they beat them last year in the semifinals, but came up short in the final game. They've got the confidence, and even like winning last year, that still fuels you, because sometimes people going up against Maryland, they get that mental block. BC doesn't have that, but they got to climb back in this. But 3 goals is nothing to an offense as powerful as BC.
I'm glad you brought that up, because my wife asked me last night. She said, hey, didn't they want Northwestern? I said, no, Boston College wants to beat the best to win their national championship. They wanted to play Maryland. They got Maryland. I just don't know if they'll be good enough to beat Maryland. We'll find out.
Oh, look at the game summary. Maryland are currently on a 5-1 run. Boston College has had issues fouls-wise, 12 team fouls. Kenzie Kent, go back 2 years ago in Foxborough, she was named the most outstanding player in championship weekend. 5 goals and 5 assists in a losing cause. First time we ever saw in program history and in the sport of women's lacrosse, a team on the losing team, a player, win most outstanding player.
She was spectacular, and that's when she was playing ice hockey, so didn't join the team. Basically, they got into part of the ACC schedule coming into that ACC tournament play, and she played awesome then, and then the NCAA tournament, she took herself to another level. But this year, fully focused on lacrosse, a full season for lacrosse for the first time ever in her career.
How impressive is that, though, to join a team halfway through a season and then be the best player in the NCAA tournament?
And put up huge numbers.
Yeah.
And talking with all the players this week, they said, well, we're in Boston. What's Boston known for? Winning titles. We want to bring another title to Beantown. A free position shot upcoming for Brindy Griffin. Fires it right past Lauren Daly. What a shot by Brindy Griffin.
So you have a decision there when you're on that 8 with that free shot. Do you go to the goal? Do you pull it out, run your offense, or maybe just take a step in, stutter, which is what Griffin did right there, and a great decision by her. Let the defender get past her, stutter a little bit, came to her right, took a great shot. She is such a smart player, she is.
So smart, and her confidence has exploded this year, her junior year. always been a great contributor, more of a feeder her first season, and now she's really developed her scoring game, takes the initiative. Instead of just pulling out right there where some players do, she saw the lane, has the confidence to take it and score. Awesome game, got a proud group of alums backing her up along with her big sister, Brooke.
Terp Nation making the trip 45 minutes from College Park. It was interesting to note the type of legacy that's been built with Maryland. You can thank local high school programs like McDonough, where Brindy went 80-0 in her career in high school, won 4 state championships, and here she is with a chance today to win another national championship.
Well, we talk about Maryland and the seniors who leave, and they just reload seemingly every year. It's in large part because of high schools like McDonough and travel programs like M&D and Skywalkers that allows Maryland to reload just about every single year.
And one of the Erica Evans, who was the graduate student number 33, who's had another amazing season as a grad year, as a transfer. This is her first championship weekend in her career. If she wanted to come to a place, wanted to have this experience, she's gotten it. So people all over the country want to come to Maryland. Boston College being in this championship weekend also, they've got to put themselves on the big stage as well.
But I do think when you have a sport that is so big in the state of Maryland, you have that kind of high school program, kids dream of playing for this program. They will wait 2 years to get their playing time rather than go elsewhere and play right away as freshmen, and that's a pretty powerful thing for Maryland.
There were many players this week for the Terps saying it was a surreal experience playing in Baltimore. Championship weekend. Can't try to set up a Puzo on the bouncer, but Taylor with the stop. Taylor has been a brick wall between the pipes today. 7 saves in this national championship game.
Making a case for the Tewaaraton Trophy for her early on in this game in the first half. Making some big-time saves. She's been a starter since her freshman year in goalie, which is super hard. So you have to have the communication skills, direct the defense. Really grown each year, but this senior season, she's been playing her best lacrosse.
And what a contrast between the final 2 years ago and today. She allowed 13 goals against Boston College in this first half, just 3 with 7 saves. May behind Caves, looking to feed, bouncer, and an unbelievable play by Katie May to find Brindy Griffin, and Maryland has stretched out their lead to 5 at 8-3.
Maryland's so impressive. We heard Kathy Reese say, hey, we have 7 players who can all score the ball, all distribute the ball. Griffin has 3 straight goals, and Griffin right now is, if Maryland can continue this and go on to win this national championship, you have to think she's looking at a Final Four MVP here.
44th goal of the season, 6 on Friday night, 3 already today. May from behind the cage, beautiful pass into quick stick. That's so tough as a goalie to stop. You're focused on the ball, see Daly behind. She's got to turn around and figure out who's got the ball now, where do I position myself in goal. Excellent execution.
What was the narrative that we saw on Friday against North Carolina? 2 players whose last names are Griffin, unrelated to each other. Today, 5 of the 8 goals scored, either Grace Griffin or Brindy Griffin.
Which is amazing. I mean, all these coaches, they all talk about they want to have 7 players on their offense as a threat. Maryland has shown that today. Their top leading goal scorers, Erica Evans and Jen Giles, they're not the focal points right now of this offense, and that's so key. You get the best matchups. It allows everyone else to open up.
Violation at the draw control circle. Boston College will look to ignite an offense that has missed 7 of their last 8 shots. How did the Eagles do it? How do the Eagles get back offensively into this game where they have been really stalled at points?
It's one, just do not let the nerves get to them. Just take a deep breath. It's resetting. They want to close out this half. I still think when Kenzie Ken has the ball, she's getting that double team. That means somebody else is open. So create isolation plays, get better lanes to goals, try to draw the fouls, and they got to mix up the shots low. So we see they're going to get looks like they're going to get the rebound on that. However, mix up the shots. Taylor's made some strong saves high.
Also, get those shots off just a little bit earlier because Maryland's sliding. They do a great job of sliding. They're so fast. If you get them off maybe a step or 2 earlier, you could avoid that slide coming over.
Dempsey Arsenault will be taking the free position shot. BC 0 for 2 on free position shots in this national title game.
She in 8-3 with a couple of minutes left here in the half. It feels like BC really needs a goal here. This is a very important possession for them.
And we talked about they were down 6-0 to UNC. They battled back. So they're in a familiar position. Oh, wow, they're going to call a false start, but I believe it's on the defense. So this is that rule that some people would like to have changed. It's really no penalty for the defense to foul. With free movement, everyone just rotates and get into new positioning. If the offensive player false starts, it's a change of possession.
Arsenal to Apuzzo, who goes underneath past Taylor, and a much-needed goal, John, for BC to end the drought.
Yeah, no doubt, a smart play there. It was going to be tough to get to the goal. Sam was coming in from behind the goal. She was wide open, beautiful pass, put it right on the money, and Sam with her second goal again.
That's a great play, and also a play that I'm sure that Maryland was looking towards. We saw that in the semifinal game, the UNC goalie pick off some passes coming from around the goal. But Apuzzo stick up high and then drops it down low, changes her levels. Very tough for a goalie to stop.
Well, Shane, it was a great call by you because you talked about BC trying to shoot lower, and that's what Sam did right there.
Sam Apuzzo, the reigning Tewaaraton winner, ranking first among active players in points, second in goals.
Those numbers don't look real. I mean, they just don't.
Those are video game numbers. Let's be honest. Those are video game numbers for the senior captain in her third straight national championship game.
Sheehan, I'm wondering, you know the game so well, you've watched so much women's lacrosse, you've played the sport. Where do you have Sam in terms of your all-time greatest players?
Oh, one of the best. I mean, without a doubt. She's just such an amazing player, and there's so many aspects to her game.
Hold.
Including this, the draw.
She holds the program record for draw controls in Eagles history. BC with their 7th draw control win in this half.
That's a big win. I'm pretty certain she holds all the records for BC.
Apuzzo, the pride of West Babylon, New York, part of that hotbed of lacrosse in Long Island.
Like so many lacrosse players, she's battled through an ACL injury, come back with her recovery.
As we approach the last 2 minutes of this first half, Maryland and Boston College, the top 2 teams in the country for the second time in 3 years, battling it out for a national championship.
They've been going to this matchup, Kent on the wing all day.
And the slide comes from Maryland. Kent with that hockey vision looking for the feed, nearly anticipated it off a steal. Instead it stays with Apuzzo and a reset for Boston College.
So Shane, I saw you shaking your head the moment she passed that ball because you could just see the gap closing very quickly.
And we all knew she was going to pass there, so did the defense. So you got to quickly look. If you don't have the pass, then it's time to move it. BC lucky to get that ball back right there. She was open for a split second, but you got to move it. And this Maryland defense is reading those passes inside.
Kent with 15 on the possession clock. Again, that slide comes by Maryland. Riatano. Kent with the possession clock to 5 for the Eagles. They've got to go to Cage. Kent. And what a defensive stop by Maryland.
I cannot tell you how impressive that was by the University of Maryland. Just the quickness up top, their defenders sliding, then getting back to the girl they were guarding. Incredible defense by Maryland.
And you can hear the eruption from the fans on the sideline. They know how important that was. Huge win as a defense to win the possession clock when you make them not go out without a shot.
I'll say this, for all the credit that we give the offense for Maryland, what is the foundation, the backbone? Year in and year out, it's the defense, led by the likes of Julia Brigg, Shelby Mercer. Those are the players in an opportune moment. That could be a turning point in this game.
No, really good. We talk about the 20 goals per game here in the NCAA tournament, but Kathy Reese, historically, you are right, Brigg. It's always been about defense. Defense first. This might be the best offensive team she's ever had, but everything for Maryland starts with the defense.
Hartshorn trying to feed it inside the 8-meter arc. Ground ball taken by May with 19 left to go in the first half.
It really feels like BC needs a big stop here. Cannot give up a goal here going into the half.
Off the restart. May off the post. Evans collects the rebound. Daly with the save. That is how the first half in Baltimore comes to a close.
You can see the momentum. Such a big save.
Love it. Great message. You know, this Boston College 4 goals is a season low for them. They're shooting 25%. They're getting the shots off. They just got to finish and score.
Draw control taken by Maryland to begin this second half. Maryland, who is looking for their 14th national championship in program history. They won it 2 years ago against Boston College in Foxborough, Massachusetts. And for BC, third straight trip to the national championship game, having lost to the Terps 2 years ago. And just last year, James Madison. Giles with the spin move through a double team and a stick check from behind. And it will be Boston College with possession.
Great defense there by BC. Let's see if some of that momentum, that save at the end of the half kind of carried over here for Boston College.
Lauren Daly in cage for Boston College had that great save, John, that you alluded to, that really provided some momentum going into the locker room at the break, some much needed momentum for the Eagles.
And a lucky break, a great play by Megan Doherty, number 6 for Maryland, but that ball goes over the boundary line, so BC will get possession.
Sheehan, when you're trying to erase a 4-goal deficit national championship game against Maryland, you cannot take those chances and make those mistakes. BC was lucky there.
Yeah, the ball possession is huge right here. The defense is reading, and really what Boston College is going to need to do, they need to work together on offense. The double teams are coming quickly. The other players need to get to space, clear from the lanes, and really see, when they work together as a whole unit, they are so tough to stop. So there's steps you've got to clear through, so you can't allow Maryland to double team too easily.
Maryland, a defense that's third in the nation, allowing less than 8 goals per game. Apuzzo, the quarterback of the offense for BC. Give and go from Kent to Apuzzo, back to Kent to the back of the cage. And what a start for Boston College to begin this second half.
Just a beautiful, beautiful play drawn up there. I feel like the 2 low attacks, maybe the 2 best athletes on this team just feeding back and forth to one another cross cage for a beautiful goal there.
That was great, and that was some freelance work, and that's when they work together. There's where you see the connection between Apuzzo and Kent. Back and forth, the double team's coming. You see the jerseys, back and forth. Kent has the vision, but just no one holding the ball with their stick too long, waiting for that defense to collapse or anticipating before the Maryland defense is able to really get good footing.
Shane, I feel like BC is going to have the most success on offense if they kind of work from behind, work those angles, because the defense and the slides up top for Maryland have been so good and have come so quickly the entire afternoon. So maybe working from behind will give them more scoring opportunities.
And Apuzzo's excellent from dodging from behind. She really can get her defender tripped up, get him on their side, and if she gets double teamed, the person slides, she'll find that feeder.
This way, ladies.
Kenzie Kent, who is going for her master's degree in sports administration. Her mother, Jennifer, in her 11th season as an assistant on the staff for Boston College. Addison, her younger sister, is a sophomore on the team. And for Kenzie Kent, who has played in 3 Frozen Fours in her career, as we take a look at Jennifer Kent on the sidelines for the Eagles, the type of ammunition offensively that BC wanted against this defense. Erica Evans, the 3-time MAC Player of the Year in her time at Canisius. As BC's defense swarms her, but a foul is called.
It feels like BC has some more urgency here in the second half. They realize, hey, senior class, national championship, we're playing Maryland, we got to get back in this game. And you can sense some more urgency with their defense.
Evans in front, Griffin goes high. Maryland off the restart. Giles to Hartshorn, and Maryland with an answer.
Gee, and that's just too easy. The first slide came, the second slide was not quick enough. Maryland's going to finish that all day.
Watch Hartshorn take this pass. Again, the patience and time is so key to her success, but she lands on her one, she gets her weight up on one foot and gives a little hitch fake, and it beats goalies time and time again. She's gonna pretend that she's gonna jump up, leave the air, and it makes the goalie just have to react differently. Great pass by Giles.
Kathy Reese getting a balanced scoring attack this afternoon. Griffin with a hat trick, and then you've got Hartshorn along with Steele and Griffin, each with 2.
She talked about that headed into half of the semifinal game against Northwestern. The fact that she has 7 players who can all score. We're not reliant on 1, 2, or 3 players, and it's such a great luxury she to have as a coach.
Hugely, and you get the confidence. I mean,
yes.
In these big games, stepping up, you're not always relying on 1 or 2 players. And I think that was evident in the Northwestern loss in that Big Ten championships. They face guarded Jen Giles and Erica Evans. Giles was held scoreless, and Maryland's offense didn't know how to react, and that's been a big focal point the last few weeks.
And meanwhile, maybe the biggest note to take away from the scoring today, Jen Giles, a Tewaaraton finalist, 0 goals. Erica Evans, your leading goal scorer, 0 goals. And Maryland still has a 4-goal advantage.
Yeah, that's a sign of a pretty good team, a pretty deep team, a talented team, and that is Maryland, Brick. It's exactly what they've been and always have been and always will be.
Boston College off the draw control win. It's been the Kent and Apuzzo show. 4 of 9 scoring. Shot quickly. Taylor collects the loose rebounds. And meanwhile, for Boston College, the rest of the team just 1 goal on 8 shots.
I think that the ball almost looked like it just fell out of Arsenal's stick.
Yeah.
And Maryland's coaching staff, they've been calling for this. They wanted to look at the cross-check and the holds off ball. We're going to see a yellow card issued for the cross-check. So just watch the extension of arms right into the body there. Great call by the official. Christina Walsh will be sidelined for up to 2 minutes. It is releasable.
Boston College with their 2nd yellow card in this game. The 4th would be a non-releasable 2-minute penalty. So Maryland with a 4-goal lead, and Kathy Reese and company working now with a 2-man advantage.
I love you could hear on the sideline.
Right.
Don't do that again. I always want to know what they say to the yellow card. Sometimes it just happens. You know, your stick slips. It's not just by accident. That was clearly, you can refrain from that as a defender.
I love the access here with the field mics, and so for the people at home, that was Coach Walker Weinstein telling her player in the penalty box, do not do that again.
One, you don't want her out. You only get
Right.
on your 2nd yellow card, you're removed from the game. But now you give Maryland a player advantage opportunity for a not needed foul. You're not going to score right there. You don't need to do that. So play in control.
And Maryland going to run some clock here. They're man up, and this feels like a very dangerous time here for BC. It feels like BC desperately needs a stop here on this Maryland offense.
Giles dodging towards Cage. Goes low. Daly with the save. In front. A scrum for it. And it gets into the crease, and Daly will have a chance to clear it for Boston College.
Huge stop for Boston College. Daly coming up huge. She's got this championship experience.
Abby Nye was the starter in Friday's game against North Carolina, was pulled for Lauren Daly, who made some tremendous saves in the latter stages of regulation and in overtime. And here today, coming up with another crucial save for Boston College.
And I connected with the Boston College staff before this game, and we were talking about Friday night, and they said, you know, we really told the girls we can't afford to get yellow cards. And they got 5 in that game. So a huge focus for this team coming in. They didn't want to get in that foul trouble that they got in at the end of the game with a non-releasable yellow card. This is just their 2nd of the day, but really a huge focus coming in was we want to play physical, but we want to play clean.
It seems like Maryland is running a bit of a backer zone here.
Yeah, see Lizzie Colson. Usually they're in man-to-man. Number 25 rotating, putting that 2nd pressure on the ball, and that's what they've been so effective on, because when BC goes to dodge, they've got that quick double team.
Apuzzo.
And they're going to call a cross-check. No card being issued on this play.
But Sam's going to get a shot here.
Man down situation for Boston College. 7 seconds remaining.
Just to expand on that, what Maryland is doing now defensively, a little bit different, is they are set up in a zone and they always have someone behind the defender in case she gets beat.
Apuzzo looking for the hat trick. Look to the right of Taylor. And it's Lizzie Colson. And a smart play by Colson to get it in the crease for Taylor to able to clear it. And now it's full strength between Maryland and Boston College.
Great speed on Megan Doherty.
Homewood Field here in Baltimore, Maryland, hosting championship for the weekend for the first time since 2001.
You have the Maryland bench and fans cheering Megan Taylor. She's been so impressive her entire career, but really these last 2 years.
Steele, shot on the run. That one resets the possession clock. And now a dive towards the end line. And it will stay with Maryland. The ball was already out of bounds, so Maryland holds the possession off the restart. If you ever have a chance to meet some of these Maryland players, especially Caroline Steele and Megan Taylor, they are the unofficial, and this is what teammates have said, the Amy Poehler and Tina Fey combination for this Maryland team. 50-50 ground ball, and a foul that will give the restart back to Maryland.
And Brick, it's a great point. Kathy Reese is a master at creating continuity, at creating, the type of program, the type of friendships that this Maryland team has. But I'm not certain, Sheen, that I've seen a Maryland team tighter than this Maryland team in terms of friendship.
Another pipe shot, great rebound, win by Boston College. This team is really tight, and you could tell that in the beginnings of the season, how just this was a special senior class. Usually the senior class sets a tone. Kathy Reese has had a bunch of them, and usually when you have those great tight-knit groups, you make it to this weekend.
If you've noticed, Maryland has had some opportunities offensively, but Lauren Daly has started to find her rhythm despite the number of pipe shots that we've seen in this national championship game. 7 saves for Lauren Daly. It's a timeout on the field. The top 2 teams in lacrosse, Maryland and Boston College, a 4-goal lead for the Terps.
Sheen, just back to that point on Maryland and Kathy Reese. She is so stoic, so it's hard to see that sense of humor, that personality that we all know that she has. It's there, but she's so stoic on the sideline, so it's hard for fans to see that at home. But she really does a tremendous job of bringing teams and players together.
I just love her energy. I think she just fires up the whole team on the sideline. They want to play for her, and when you have a coach that you love so much, it fires you up.
While we have a chance, let's take a look at the Capital One Cup standings update as teams compete for a combined $400,000 scholarship donation from Capital One. Stanford, clearly right now, your winner in terms of points, leading Florida State, Baylor, UCLA, and North Carolina, rounding out the top 5 are Capital One standings. So at this point right now, you've got a Maryland team really firing on all cylinders. Evans, along with Giles, do not have a goal, and yet here they are with a 4-goal advantage on Boston College.
I mean, it's just unbelievable. Evans being face guarded right now, taking them out. You got to worry about the surrounding players on their all their weapons, because there's so many different goal scorers. The issue, though, really isn't defensively. You know Maryland's going to get their goals. BC's attack, their unit needs to work better together. Love that Apuzzo-Kent connection back and forth, but they need to work this Maryland defense, use the skip passes. That's where they're struggling. They've got 19 shots. The problem is their conversion rate of just 5.
What do you do when you have one of the best offenses in the country? Yeah, Maryland has that, but you might have the best defense in the country as well. They're such a tough team to attack, and so we'll see if BC, listen, there's plenty of time left here. Sheen, as you know, 22 minutes to go, you're only down by 4 goals, so plenty of time for BC to get back to this ball.
And they're getting those shots, so they're just one apart. BC's got 19 shots in the day, Maryland with 20. Just better opportunities. Megan Taylor's hot and cage, find the net.
Moments ago, Hallie, you were in the Boston College huddle. What was the vibe and the message?
The message from Coach Jen Kent, she said, girls, we need to stay locked in defensively and focus. Coach Walker Weinstein then added in, listen, on offense, we need to play with urgency, but we don't need to rush. There's a difference there. And Kenzie Kent, of course, chimed in. She said, girls, we got this, a lot of time left.
Kenzie Kent, who has been to 3 Frozen Fours as part of the BC women's hockey team. She was part of this run 2 years ago in championship weekend in the first matchup against Maryland. But a team high 19 fouls committed by Boston College in this game. Rhythm and focus, the biggest takeaways from that Boston College huddle. Kent, 4 in maroon, looking to feed behind cage.
Great one-on-one defense.
Riatano down the lane, misfires.
Sheehan, as we talked about earlier, it looks like BC just working different angles, different parts of the field right now. Great skip pass.
And that is beautiful. That's what we were talking about. So they didn't have it on that left-hand side. They move it once, twice, get the opening, you draw the foul. So that's the other thing. When you're having a hard time generating shots, try to generate some fouls. Either go to cage when you attack, be smart about it, draw a foul on the body, or a shooting space or 3 seconds violation.
Boston College in this national title game 0 for 3 in free position shot opportunities. Riotano, the senior, will take it for the Eagles. Charges in and misfires past Taylor. And it will be Maryland that gets the possession.
Maryland time and time again has gotten a stick on at the very last second, stick on the Boston College attackers, and been able to get what looks like could be a goal, a great shot, a clean look. Maryland's been able to get it stick on stick and get the ball to go out of bounds and prevent it from being a great shot, great opportunity.
BC's got to adjust their shots on that. They've got to go lower because they're getting the stick checks.
Yes.
John, I don't mean to throw math at you.
Don't.
BC is 0 for 4 on free position shots today. If they convert on all 4, we're tied up at 9.
Yeah, and not a math major, but that's not good. 0 for 4.
Well, that's on the season, they're shooting 50%. So right now they're at 25%. So if they were just shooting their season average, they'd be winning this game right now.
But I think you either change your planes or you just got to shoot a little bit earlier.
One
That's
step
it.
sooner.
Yeah.
They will coach you to just run on a little bit of an angle to give your stick a little bit of separation. So it's a matter of inches. But free positions at this point in the game are huge. You've got to make sure you connect on them or don't take them.
Giles, that one looked to go off a defender. Possession clock resets to 90. Giles, one of the 4 Tewaaraton finalists playing in this national championship game. She, along with her teammate Megan Taylor, Sam Apuzzo, Dempsey Arsenault, the other 2 for Boston College.
Just great one-on-one defense there, Brooke.
Griffin once again answers for Maryland, and they extend their lead to 5 in this national championship game.
Feels like if there's going to be a goal scored by Maryland, the last name is going to be Griffin, right?
Griffin, who is shooting 54% on the season. She was last year's Big Ten Freshman of the Year. And Griffin, Brindy Griffin, Grace Griffin, that's been the story in this game for Maryland.
They've been phenomenal, just getting themselves in position to score. Great take. Quick first move. Watch, Lauren Daly comes up really high in the crease area right there. She's almost at the top. That does cut down your angle a bit, but you can see the spacing in the net. So when you come out of there, you just take the extra second as a shooter, you're able to shoot around. I think she would have been a better serve just to hold back a little bit.
Griffin with the hat trick. And now Maryland with back-to-back goals. Brooke Griffin and Brindy Griffin have accounted for 6 of 9 shooting. The rest of the team 4 of 13 in this game.
Well, and I hate to harp on this, but it's the truth. This is what happens when you have 7 players who can all be a threat, all score. So when they shut down your top 2 offensive players, you have other people contributing. Maryland's done a great job of that.
And John, how many times do we see in the sport's biggest stage role players become key?
Yeah, because what a team's trying to do to the star players, they try to shut them down in the biggest of games, and that's what BC has done here. But Maryland's role players, Britt, to your point, have really stepped up, not just today, all Final Four, and all season. So, Sheehan, just under 20 minutes to go here. If you're Maryland, do you even start thinking about the clock? Do you start, taking some time off, or you stay aggressive?
I think you stay aggressive. You don't want to alter your game. We've seen so many games this season.
Warner on the run. That one just misses to the left.
They answered the question for me. They stayed aggressive.
Yeah, I think you need to. I mean, we've seen how the 5-goal shifts can go back and forth, especially with this BC team. They've been down before. They've battled back down 6-0 against UNC. So, no, you do not want to look at the scoreboard too much or the clock as a Maryland. And Boston College, you do need to start attacking. The beauty of the possession clock is, though, that you're not out of this game. We don't have to worry about a stall. So they need to be aggressive, but offensively just take some better shot opportunities.
Shot clock has really changed the game in that regard, because there was a time when you're down 5 goals, 18 minutes to go, where the team would hold the ball offensively for minutes at a time and just try to kill the clock.
been a great part of the expansion of the game. The women's game, in fact, prior to the men's, was the first to institute the possession clock. And we have seen that throughout this season especially. The scoring is up, the intensity is up. Arsenal on the doorstep, and Boston College with a much-needed goal to get within 4.
She's been quiet most of the afternoon, and it would be big if BC can get her going, one of their best players.
65th goal this season, the Tewaaraton finalist. She has an assist, but she is so dangerous on the one-on-one take. They need her involved as BC tries to battle back.
This week, the Sunday Night Baseball crew is in St. Louis for the series finale between the Braves and the Cardinals from Busch Stadium. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. Eastern on ESPN, the ESPN app, with Baseball Tonight's Sunday Night Countdown. Dempsey Arsenault, the ACC Midfielder of the Year, coming up with the last goal for Boston College. And there's not many times you can brag about taking a picture of yourself in front of your own picture. But we saw that earlier this week. Dempsey Arsenault, along with her teammate Sam Apuzzo, did just that. And she has been one of the architects of the success for Boston College, especially last year, she in the absence of Kenzie Kent.
Oh, she's been amazing, really developed over her playing career. Huge offensive weapon, but so fun. I mean, just this atmosphere, her is about 8-foot image of her on some of the doors to the Cordish Center here at Homewood Field. Friday night versus UNC, she was big with 3 goals. They need her more involved in this offense.
Boston College down by 4. Sam Apuzzo, the reigning Tewaaraton winner. An incredible crowd on hand, nearly 10,000 fans on hand, the 4th highest attendance all time in Women's Lacrosse Championship weekend. The first time since 2001 that Homewood Field in Baltimore, Maryland has hosted championship weekend. In 2001, a team led by Sheehan Stanwyck Birch in Georgetown unfortunately fell to Maryland. But without a doubt, you have said it was one of the greatest experiences in your playing career.
I knew you were going to bring it up. And yes, we lost. And I cried that night. It was horrible. But the sun came out the next day, and it's such an amazing memory. It was hard fought. We were down by a ton and came back, but to be on this field, it's so hard. There's over 100 teams in Division I women's lacrosse, maybe 30 people on a team, so 3,000 athletes out there playing this sport. 4% make it, 1% wins. I mean, it's huge, a huge stage to be on, but a great experience, even though we lost.
Listen, you brought my senior season at Clark University yesterday on Friday night, and my 0 wins as a goalie, so that was coming. I'm sorry. Well, listen, at least you made it to a national championship game, and that's something I'm certain you are proud of.
We made it, and I missed a lot of the shots I took that night, but it was a great experience nonetheless with a great team.
I can say this, at least I was smart enough not to play college athletics and just call college athletics. Apuzzo behind the crease, looking to feed, looking for a cutter. Apuzzo with 2 goals in this game for Boston College, 93 on the season for the nation's leading scorer.
This stage is awesome, especially for the defense. You can hear the charge from the fans, the yelling when the defense goes and stops.
Kent, an unbelievable move to fake out Taylor. And now Arsenault and Kent back-to-back goals, in Boston College within 3.
So best players step up in the biggest of games. They need Arsenault, they need Kent, they need Sam Apuzzo, they need them down the stretch here to get back into this game and win this national championship. And you're starting to see from the BC offense.
Hallie talked about in the second half how they need to step up offensively. Apuzzo with the goal, then Arsenault, and now Kenzie Kent. I think Maryland trying to get the charger. Look at those fakes there by Kenzie Kent.
Amazing.
She's right on the doorstep with Taylor, who's been so key today. And I think their feet just get tangled up. I don't know if I see the charge right there. It is.
And you look at that shot, and that's why I'm happy that Kenzie Kent elected to redshirt last season. She has learned so much under assistant coach Kayla Trainer. That's textbook Kayla Trainer, the career we saw her compile at Syracuse. Her and Kenzie have worked a lot together in the offseason. In the fall, they had a lot of 1v1s. And right there, that poise, that's what Boston College needs to bring the rest of this second half. They need to take their time shooting.
2 goals in a minute 13 for Boston College has them within 3. Credit Kenzie Kent's hockey career at Boston College with 3 throws and 4 appearances. The way she is able to have that type of footwork and stick work as well.
What a battle for the draw control. You can see what's on the line. I know Maryland feels it. That there's a little momentum shift right now to Boston College. Huge win for BC.
That was a loose ball, and a Maryland player actually kind of like hockey style put it back into their own zone. I prefer if you're going to do that, do it into your offensive zone, not your defensive zone.
Each team has won 9 draw controls in this national championship game, and yet it is Maryland, the #1 team in the country, with a 3-goal lead on #2 Boston College, leading for the second time in 3 years on the sport's grandest of stages.
Shane, almost 15 minutes ago, you could feel the urgency, the excitement in the entire stadium here. Both sides, Maryland and BC, but especially in that BC side, trying desperately to get back into this game, and they're there. They're 3 down.
And this was the point in Friday's national semifinal against North Carolina, where Boston College started to turn the tide to their favor. Kent circles around that 8-meter arc. Good give and go pass, the bouncer just wide left.
And they're going to call a foul on that also. That was a great take. That is the patience and just looking for that next pass defensively. Brick, you talked about the struggles on the 8-meter for Boston College. If you're going to get those fouls, you need to make sure that you deliver on them. This is when you want to run towards the center of the field. That's going to create some separation on your stick side and mix up the levels.
Burbank will take the free position shot and elects to pass it off to Kent and reset the offense for Boston College.
Shane, you okay with that decision there?
Yeah, because if you don't feel confident taking it, reset. You still got 16 seconds left to go with possession clock. Perfect for an opportunity.
Apuzzo just missing on the bouncer.
It's a great point by you. They got a great opportunity. They got a better shot there than they would have had with the free shot. So a great point by you there.
And then credit Megan Taylor for running out. So on those errant shots, it's the person closest to the ball when the ball goes out. So BC didn't have the backup. Taylor gets that win back for her team.
Julia Brigg, 24 in white, who scored her first career goal in Friday's win against Northwestern.
Incredible job riding there by Sam Apuzzo.
Trail check from behind, a 50-50 ground ball.
To have a player as talented as Sam Apuzzo, not just score goals, not just assists, not with the draws, but ride the way that she rides and never give up on a play.
She leads the team in calls turnovers. I mean, usually that's for one of your defenders. She does a great job getting it back. Maryland on the sideline giving the signal, just calm it down. I think they're feeling just the emotions getting high. Just settle it down. They've been in control of this game.
Feet in front, Hartshorn, and there was Daly. Less than 30 left on the possession clock for the Terps. Giles marked by Betsy Arsenal, and it's Giles, the Tewaaraton finalist, that wins the battle. And for Giles, her first goal in this national championship game.
She's had her looks on cage. She connects when it matters most, just when BC started to go on a bit of a run. Your senior leader captain gets her 58th goal this season.
I think we all would have been shocked here. It's a great shot by Giles, going to change her play in there. But I think we all would have been shocked if, I told you before the game, she wouldn't have her first goal until about 15 minutes left in the second half.
Giles, the senior captain, a Tewaaraton finalist, as NCAA coverage continues Thursday, May 30th, with the Women's College World Series starting at noon Eastern Time, live on ESPN. For more information on all NCAA championships, go to ncaa.com, the official online home for all 90 NCAA championships. The men's national championship up in Philly will be decided between Virginia and Yale, looking to be the first team to repeat since Duke did it in 2013 and 2014. Now again, based on the weather here today, where the humidity has reached over 50%, it's reached temperatures as high as 90 degrees. Officials prior to the game elected to have mandatory water breaks for both players on both teams and in a sense, not make it an official timeout. So Kathy Reese, Acacia Walker-Weinstein, not allowed to be a part of these water breaks. It's not an official timeout.
Yeah, no coaching allowed, just get the water, which is so smart. I mean, this is heat that we haven't experienced here. I live half a mile away from here in Maryland. This has been the hottest day. So these players, it's a lot to adjust for. Been hydrating for the last 48 hours.
Yeah, the cloud coverage has helped a bit. It's helped you out a bit, Brick, because you were sweating through your shirt when I walked in here, but you're doing a lot better now. Listen, I will tell you what I would do as a coach. I would send those ladies who were going out there with the water bottles, and I would have, if I'm a coach, I give them the message to deliver to my players out there.
Well, for Boston College, their offense, Hallie's had some issues going up against the 4-time Big Ten Goalie of the Year in Megan Taylor. What more can you tell us?
You know, when is Megan Taylor not smiling? I mean, she just provides so much energy for this team. I really think it starts with Kathy Reese, you know, the culture that she creates in College Park. You know, you mentioned in the water break, the coaches are not allowed to address these teams. There's such senior leadership on both. And Taylor comes jogging in, big smile on her face. She's like, girls, this is so fun.
Megan Taylor has to be one of the greatest personalities in the sport of women's lacrosse. She and we had a chance to talk to her earlier this week, and she just has a bubbly personality, one that you have to embrace, and she puts you in a good mood even when you're not in a good mood.
Always laughing, makes fun of herself. She's hilarious to be around, and the team just feeds off of her.
Roommates with Caroline Steele, who has possession. Steele and Daler, one of the dynamic comedy duos in Maryland program history. Taylor tried to, or I should say, Griffin, unable to capitalize with the ground ball arsenal. And here comes Boston College working their offense.
It was a perfect pass by Steele, right on the stick. Yeah.
Here they got numbers, so we saw this in the UNC game, how they would push the fast break, but they didn't have it immediately. They were told to set it up, make a good possession. So 13 minutes to go, plenty of time to climb back, but you don't want to waste your possessions. So be aggressive, but don't force it too much.
Kenzie Kent, playing in her final game in a Boston College uniform, has been a part of the foundation of success for the Eagles in their third straight national championship game.
Colson with the quick help there.
How do you break through this Maryland defense?
You got to get more slate, so they're actually just too close.
Apuzzo gets past her defender. Brigg goes top shelf for the hat trick.
That's how you get past it. With the best player in the country, Sam Apuzzo. What an amazing play.
And her fake right there. She was trying to draw the shooting space call. Knew she didn't have it. Great defensive play. But the Maryland defender ducks, and that gives her the time and space to fire it in.
But, Brick, I think they've made that adjustment. They were doing, and here's the play right now, and just a beautiful, changes the levels, great fakes, great shot by Sam Apuzzo. We've become accustomed to that.
And that cut coming from behind the cage, almost behind the goal right there, is much different. Boston College has been trying to feed that adjacent cut, the person right next to him. That gives them a little bit more separation, so the double team's not there.
Correct. And, Brick, you know, you talked about the adjustments. How do you break this Maryland defense? They were trying to do it from up top in the first half. They didn't have much success, and they're really working behind the cage now and having much more success here in the second.
We've talked all weekend long about dynamic duos. You've got Sam Apuzzo, the nation's leading scorer with 94 goals. Next to her, Kenzie Kent leads the nation in points and assists. If Boston College is going to get back into this game, it's got to be the dynamic duo that does it for them.
Yeah, the biggest player's got to step up in the biggest of games, and this is not only the biggest of games, it's Sam Apuzzo's final game, and so you know she's going to leave nothing on the field today.
An incredible draw control win by Hartshorn, using that 5'9" frame to her advantage for the Terps.
On that last draw control, Maryland opting to have an extra defender on their defensive side, so really just minimizing the fast break opportunity for Boston College if they were able to get possession.
Maryland, a key reason why they've got a 3-goal lead, especially in the second half, has been the draw controls, a +4 advantage over BC in the second half.
And I really love how the referees have let both teams kind of play today. National championship game, and it seems like the referees have just allowed them to play and play freely.
Griffin, who's got a hat trick.
Calling consistent on both ends of the field. Ooh, see a collision.
Giles working it inside. That shot off the post by Hartshorn.
And there, a card is being issued. on Boston College, and I believe this is the, see what this is a check into the body, or into the, I don't know what the official call is, but it's something to check into the body somehow. But this is the second yellow card now on Walsh. Okay, so she's holding on to her shirt. So that was the grabbing move. So okay.
Yeah, she dragged her down. Yeah, great
call. Great eyes, great calls. I didn't see that official call. She was tugging on her own shirt. I wasn't sure what that was. So now that is the second card of the day for number 8, Christina Walsh. So she will be removed from the game for the rest of the game.
And that's a big loss for Acacia Walker-Weinstein. Walsh, one of the senior veterans on an all-senior defensive unit for Boston College.
Now this is maybe when you want to hold possession if you're Maryland, because now the time of the clock, you'll play her up. Smart move not to take that shot right away.
Maryland with a 3-goal lead, a man-up advantage. Boston College with their 3rd yellow card of the game. The 4th one would be an unreleasable 2-minute penalty against Boston College. And you get a sense now Boston College has to firm down defensively if they want to keep this a 3-goal deficit.
And that goes back to what Hallie was saying with the cards, just maintaining the fouls. That was you don't need to do that. Play within the rules of the game. Right now you give Maryland an advantage right here, but more importantly, you give them, they're holding the advantage of the clock right now.
Absolutely no reason to rush here for Maryland.
Arsenal, one-on-one defense with Giles, who collects the loose ground ball.
You got to be careful with these checks, though, too. Any contact with the head is an automatic yellow card. So just BC's got to play in control right now.
Boston College, who just committed their 26th foul in this national championship game. Maryland will keep it with the possession clock running and a man-up situation. Pass to Griffin. And now Urbank. Woo.
Looks like it's going to be BC's ball. The Maryland bench, the Maryland coaching staff is irate right now.
They don't think that she was pushed. They're trying to plead their case to the officials.
Yeah, they feel like it was a flop, so.
Or offsides.
But if offsides, BC would claim, yeah, she was pushed offsides.
Now, Sheehan, how does Boston College handle this possession? They're a man down with 40 seconds left. They'll have plenty of time left remaining on the possession clock. And instead, a near turnover, and Apuzzo able to collect. And now a stoppage on the whistle.
Okay, and we're seeing another yellow card. So BC with a cross check. So right now, it's exactly what you had mentioned before, Brick. This is BC's 4th yellow card of the game. So this now is a 2-minute unreleasable. So now they are 2 players advantage right now. And you can see Jen Kent, the coaching staff, saying, calm down. BC's, this is an emotional game, national championship. A lot is on the line right now. They got to settle down, though, right now. Too many fouls, too many yellow cards.
Urbank, the one serving the penalty, the 4th yellow card against Boston College. Christina Walsh is out of this game with 2 yellow cards.
All right, so she's full time.
Number 8 for Boston College. You can tell in the emotion on her face.
So Maryland's going to be 2 up here for the next 26 seconds. She has a great point by you. Everyone just needs to calm down. You need to look over at your coaching staff, especially the coaches as a player. And if they're calm and confident, you tend to be calm and confident out on the field. And both teams need that out of their coaching staffs right now.
Do you take the risk if you're Boston College in this situation of being more aggressive than normal?
Not defensively. You can't afford to get another foul or yellow card right now. You need the ball back. So I think you pressure out, but right now you're going to be released. Now they're back down. Still 1 player.
Right.
So play good, solid defense. The possession clock.
As May with a shot on goal that just missed, gets into the crease. So Daly with a chance to clear it.
The crossbar there.
This has been a conversation point, though, about this penalty. So the yellow card is a 2-minute penalty. However, the possession clock is 90 seconds. Do you adjust the time? So it makes it different for how you have to play the game. I agree. I do think it should be limited. It also is very hard to score, and a lot of teams have a hard time scoring for such a drastic penalty.
I kind of like the strategy involved there, you know? With the 90-second clock and the 2-minute.
You do? Because if you miss it, then the other team just holds the ball. I'd rather it lined up more. What I don't like is that the team that is up a player goes to score. If they don't shoot, if they don't score, then the other team just plays keep away. So I think it would make the game a little bit more faster.
Either way, it's about a 7-second difference between possession clock and the man-down situation for Boston College. Down by 3, a dangerous pass that stays with Arsenault on the far side.
And now Maryland a little bit aggressive. Lizzie Colson again off ball with that quick double. How amazing is she? Off the ball, just tracks it downfield.
And so it's pretty clear what BC's been trying to do offensively. They love that matchup with Kent right there, posted like right behind the net, and Sam cutting to the cage. It's kind of a timing play that they've got to a few times here in the second half.
I understand that Boston College didn't come up with a goal on that offensive possession, but you almost consider this a mini win if you can hold Maryland scoreless on a 2-man-up situation.
Definitely, but they've got to take it back in check. So when they get back to even strength, you got to just play calm and control. There's still plenty of time to come back, but they've got to keep their emotions in check.
Back to even strength, Maryland an 11-8 lead. A game showcasing the top 2 teams in the country for the right to be called a national champion. Steele, who scored the first goal of this championship game. A stick check, but back to Giles. Slide comes from BC, somehow Giles gets that one to go, and the senior captain with her second strike of the game.
An amazing goal by Giles. And we talked about the biggest players stepping up in the biggest games, and she's doing that right here in the second half of Maryland.
You can see that smile. She was up top. She wanted that take. She motioned to her. The person next to her moved to the side. She takes it, takes the roll dodge, gets fouled along the way, gets the exclamation point, and Maryland's on top.
Jen Giles, the Tewaaraton finalist, a senior captain for Maryland, with her second goal before the break, has extended the lead back to 4 for the Terps. And many people all around the country, seniors especially, they've got to deal with missing graduation. And how about this, trading in your gown for a robe, zebra style. This is the same type of robe that the Levitard show wears in their pre-show meetings. Am I right, John?
Pre-show meetings, we wear these robes on the air. Are you kidding me? Listen, they'll exchange robes and national championship rings for graduation any day of the week.
There's always been a question I've wanted to ask you.
Go ahead.
Who's better at lacrosse, you or Levitard?
Oh, it's me. It's not even close.
Even though we don't count that winless senior year at Clark, correct?
Yes, and let me just point out the graduation ceremony. These girls are going to graduate, and they love to graduate, but they would trade in playing in this game as opposed to being a part of their graduation ceremony.
As you take a look at some of the greats from the past, Taylor Cummings in the mix, the only 3-time Tewaaraton winner in the sport of women's lacrosse. Kathy Reese looking to grab her 5th national championship as a head coach, her 12th as part of this program as a player, an assistant coach, and now as a Hall of Fame coach.
So impressed. Hard not to be impressed with her and the job she's done here at the University of Maryland, and just the environment that she has cultivated and created for this program, and especially this team. And Sheen, it seems to me that she really, listen, you never know how you feel about certain teams, but it seems to me like Kathy Reese has just fallen in love with this group of players in a way that maybe she hasn't with other teams in the past. She loves all her players, loves all her teams, but this team is very, very close.
Hartshorn, who was hit after the draw control, is still down at the center circle for Maryland.
Let's take a look, just going up top, and yes, she collides face to face. Is that Colson who went down with her? So just, yeah, she and Colson. They've limited over the last years, she's going to take a little breather right now. They've limited the amount of people around the circle, trying to minimize a lot of the fouls that happen on there. Now, nothing against BC on that. There's just your players are just going 100% trying to get the balls. It's actually surprising we don't see more of those type of fouls.
Sheen, what's the strategy offensively here? Because we're getting down 7 minutes to go, 90-second shot clock. You're down 4 goals. Coaches start to process all that math on the sideline. So what do you do here offensively?
You're going through the big three, and they got to connect and work together, and everyone's got to be option. Look for the rebounds. You need to back up the goal. No shot can be wasted.
Riatano down the lane, and Taylor with a save.
Like that one. Listen, it was a great execution. Beautifully run play. Just need a bit of a better shot there for BC.
Megan Taylor with 9 saves, making a case to be the Tewaaraton winner, which would be the first ever goalie in the sport of women's lacrosse to garner the highest honor in the sport.
And listen, Brick, with her performance today, this makes her a real contender. No goalie has won the Tewaaraton Award. However, you're facing 2 Tewaaraton finalists from Boston College and having a monster day in cage, some game-saving performances.
And if you're wondering what the season low on the season for Boston College is, that was 12 goals in their win against USC. That was back on April 1st. Here today, held to single digits by that player there, 34 in white, Megan Taylor.
Sheen, here's what's interesting. If I told Boston College that Maryland would have, with 6.5 minutes to go in this game, would only have 12 goals, I say only because it's a team that's averaged 20 goals per game here in the NCAA tournament, I think BC and their coaching staff would tell you, hey, we're going to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, and you really just, Boston College, they've gotten those shots a lot. You got to credit Megan Taylor. She's played phenomenal. A Tewaaraton finalist for great reason. 27 shots, though, for Boston College, just converting on 8 of them. Credit the Maryland defense. We've talked about how great that offense is, but the Maryland defense has played very strong.
Megan Taylor, the only 4-time winner of the Big Ten Goalie of the Year in the conference. Reminder as well, Sports Center tonight after Braves and Cardinals with Anderson and Bucci. Inside Justin Verlander's fantastic season as he goes up against the Red Sox at home. Plus, the Baseball Tonight crew breaks down why there's been so many impactful rookies called up already this season. An SC feature tells the story of a retired Marine accomplishing a feat thanks to the inspiration of 3 fallen friends. Sports Center coming your way, 10 Eastern on ESPN and on the ESPN app. Alongside Sheehan Stanwick Birch, John Wiener, John Brickley with you. Hallie Griggs down at field level for the national championship game, pitting the top 2 teams in the country from Baltimore, Maryland. Maryland Terps looking for their 14th national championship. Boston College in the championship game for a 3rd straight year, looking for their first ever national championship after losing to Maryland 2 years ago and last year to James Madison. A 12-8 lead for Maryland with 6:27 left to go in this game. And still, Erica Evans, 33 in white, no goals in this national championship game, the leading goal scorer for Maryland, and yet they have a 4-goal lead on the Eagles. Lizzie Colson, the 2-way mini. Check from behind. Kathy Reese wanted a call, play continues.
What a handle.
What a smart play by Sam Macuzzo, shoveling that ball over to Kenzie Kent there.
There you see her ice hockey skills.
Yes.
It looks like she's navigating like she's on the ice. Really great at grabbing the ground balls.
Maryland with their 10th turnover as Boston College has to push up tempo, down by 4 in this national championship game.
Yeah, you don't have a choice here, I don't think, Shane. You got to go. Like, offensively, you just got to go. You got to get good shots, and you got to make, as you pointed out earlier, make those shots really count.
Apuzzo off the pipe again. That is the 5th pipe shot in this title game.
And Maggie Taylor's calling for a dangerous shot, dangerous follow-through on Sam Macuzzo there. The referees haven't called it all game. Megan Taylor was calling for it there.
Julia Brigg holding her head right there.
Yeah.
Brigg, the reigning 2-time Defender of the Year in the Big Ten, with the assignment of guarding the reigning Tewaaraton winner in Sam Apuzzo.
She's done a great job.
Apuzzo with a hat trick on this day. Pushes her way in, goes low. Taylor anticipating another save for Taylor. Back-to-back games in championship weekend and double-digit saves for Megan Taylor, now with 10.
That was great one-on-one defense. If that's the shot Sam Apuzzo is going to get, he'll take that shot.
And another yellow card. So, I mean, Boston College, a check into the face. Mercer's down on the field right now. This is the 2nd yellow card for Urbank as well, so she's out of the game.
So Urbank, who had 4 goals in the semifinal victory against North Carolina, her day is done. Christina Walsh, one of the top defenders in that defensive unit for Boston College, she is also out of this game. And more importantly for Maryland, they can hold for 2 minutes with a man-up situation in a non-releasable sense.
Yeah, and expect to see BC just, I mean, it's desperation time. Expect to see BC just kind of flying all over the field, doing whatever they could do to try to get the ball back, which could also be dangerous because it'll allow Maryland just a free look at the cage. But if you're BC, Gene, you have to just start flying all over the field here, right?
Let's take a look here at the penalty.
What do you think, Shea?
It's hard to see right there how contact was made. It doesn't matter how hard it is, deliberate. If you do make contact with the face, then that's an automatic yellow card.
7 had the ball.
Or 7.
7 had the ball at the whistle.
Okay, this is a 2-minute non-releasable.
Correct.
So you don't want.
It's 26.
So the girl
that's
that's
her second. She's at.
Yeah, 26.
The officials, great
And I
job
showed
communicating,
two to
but
this
who's
crowd.
coming out? That's 26, Urbang's second yellow card. She cannot come back in. And it is serving full time as they're over that 4 yellow card mark in the game for Boston College.
So people at home might be saying that didn't look like a penalty to them, and I would tell them, hey, selling those penalties is part of women's lacrosse. It's part of every sport. There's nothing wrong with that. Trying to sell those penalties.
There is something wrong. That encourages it.
No.
Let's see. So it looks like contact's made with the face. So just check the face is coming down. I don't think you can do that. That can take away goals. I don't like this. I don't want to encourage the selling. I do think that there should be a.
I'm not encouraging it. I'm just saying it's part of the sport.
And I don't think she was. I think she did make contact there in that last angle. That was a good look by our camera crew to see the contact.
Kent, the feet ahead numbers. Apuzzo for Boston College leading the charge.
Need a goal here.
They've struggled on the 8 meters, Boston College, all day long. Kent, though, gets the center hash mark.
Boston College today has been 0 for 4 in free position shots.
Gene, you see her angle, so she's got a Maryland player on each hash on the side. Does she tuck it and go, or just straight and just rip a shot here?
I think she just explodes off that.
Kent back to the cage, and a much-needed goal for Boston College and Kenzie Kent, ending the drought and getting the Eagles to within 3. Her 4th today, number 51 on the season for Kenzie Kent.
Maryland, a player advantage. Kent is finally able for Boston College to connect on that 8-meter. And watching, okay, so she actually does follow through to Lizzie Colson. Lizzie Colson was saying to the ref she wanted that call. So the extension of your arms, officials didn't see that one, but if you follow through into it, you're a player, you have to be in control of your stick. That could have easily been a yellow card on Kent.
And what a great shot, though. Great shot placement, off stick side, not on the goalie's strong side, so just a beautiful shot by Kent.
But the work, as Kenzie Kent, you look at those eyes that we have seen in 3 Frozen Fours and a championship weekend 2 years ago, leading the charge for Boston College. But let's keep in mind, they're down by 3. A non-releasable penalty against the Eagles leaves a man-up situation for Maryland with 1:37.
So just, with the time remaining and the shot clock, you almost have to be perfect the rest of the way here if you're Boston College. You almost have to win every draw the rest of the way here if
Yeah,
you're
this
BC.
draw is huge. Maryland with an extra player on their defensive end right now, lining up that way for the draw positioning.
Maryland does have the edge in draw controls, 11-10. And Apuzzo nearly caught it, and it goes into the stick of Dempsey Arsenal.
Big possession.
And a timeout quickly taken by Keisha Walker-Weinstein and Boston College, looking to get the momentum back.
This is what I was talking about earlier. When your coach, even in a national championship game, when you're down 3 goals with 4 minutes to go, Walker-Weinstein is out there. She's got her fist up in the air. She's encouraging her players, and I think players really feed off the positivity of that type of coaching.
Oh, sure. I mean, this is what you practice all season long. These game time situations when you're down by 3, up by 3, down player, all these different scenarios. This is what the hard work comes to.
Maryland and Boston College, 1-2 in the country for the 2nd time in 3 years, going for a national championship. 3rd straight year they've met in championship weekend. Last year, it was Boston College winning in the semifinals against Maryland, eventually losing to James Madison. Let's listen into the Boston College huddle.
The double goes quickly. You want to zip it up to Dempsey's USA guys. So, okay, so you got to stay away from Kenzie, let her go. The double goes, cut for your life. Get an outlet for Kenzie.
You heard it right there. Kenzie Kent is going to be with the ball. They want there to cut for their life through the ball, get it to Dempsey Arsenal on the other side. She is really hard to stop when she attacks with a full head of steam. So Kent, we're looking at her, not a Schwartztown finalist. In many people's opinion, she easily could have been. She's a threat to score and the best passer on this team. They want the ball on her stick and try to get it to Dempsey Arsenal.
Arsenal, who has 1 goal, Kent, who has 4. Apuzzo has a hat trick. And Boston College will have possession out of this timeout with a man-down situation. Sam Apuzzo looking to end her college career with a national championship. Fans at Boston College hoping the 3rd time is the charm in Charm City.
Feels like every possession is a must-score possession right now for Boston College.
It really is. I mean, this is where the game is on the line. There's still a healthy amount of time on the clock with their player down, and they gotta go.
Kent, far right wing, circles through. That goes in. Back-to-back goals for Kenzie Kent. Number 5 for the grad student.
I'm going to need to look at the replay. I don't know how that went in. Unbelievable. Ice in her veins. Kenzie Kent, 5th goal today, 2 back-to-back. So she takes it.
Oh, that's a goal.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. What a great shot.
Great shot by the officials also to see that,
Yes.
too, being in positioning to see that crossover.
Just how difficult that is with players on your back, coming across there with your left hand, coming from high to low, taking that kind of shot with players draped all over you. Just a tremendous shot, tremendous play by Kenzie Kent.
Boston College with 2 goals in 25 seconds. Flashback 2 years ago, Kenzie Kent, 5 goals, 5 assists in the championship loss to Maryland. The only player on a losing team in the national championship game to be named most outstanding player. A critical draw control here.
Not only 2 goals in 25 seconds, 2 goals in 25 seconds and a player down. I mean, just amazing.
Against a pretty good goalie.
Okay, now they're actually, they're going to call that call against Boston College. They're going to say that, I believe that Apuzzo warded off there. You can see the disbelief on the Boston College sideline.
You saw disbelief out of Sam Apuzzo.
That's a turning point call in this game. Maryland has possession with a man-up situation with 40 seconds to go and a 2-goal lead.
So this is the time of the game where you have a team trying to get back into a game, trying to win a national championship in Boston College, where things get really, really frenzied as BC is going to do whatever they have to do to get the ball back.
And Lauren Daly is at times leaving the cage, almost encouraging Maryland to shoot so they have an opportunity to get the ball back.
Daly out of the crease. Worther circles around. 10 seconds left on the man up for Maryland. Evans still looking for her first goal down the lane. And a foul inside that 8-meter arc.
You see her holding her head there. She was checked, which caused her stick to, I believe, hit her head as well. That could have been a card. Also, it does not look like they're going to issue one. However, she will get the free position shot.
Maryland 1 for 1 on free position shots. Evans, the leading goal scorer for Maryland, still without a goal.
I'd be surprised if they go to the cage with 36 seconds remaining on the shot clock.
Evans goes to cage. Daly with the save.
Did that surprise you, Sheila?
I did. I thought they were going to pull it out right there. Now, it did hit the pipe. If they got possession, they'd have a reset of the possession clock. But this is exactly what Boston College wanted.
Daly looking for some help. What a ride by Maryland.
You absolutely, oh, wow.
And now it looks like there's a yellow card now going to be issued on Maryland.
You gotta love the end of a championship game with just the frenzied feeling of this game right now, where BC is desperately trying to get a couple of goals here to get themselves into an overtime scenario with Maryland.
And they're both going full force And a collision. I don't know if Colson was the one that fouled on that, actually, to be quite honest. But
I think you're right.
Lizzie Colson, one of the best two-way middies in the country, as Boston College, who at one point in this national championship game was down by 5, has a man-up opportunity to cut the deficit within 1.
Gene, you're right there. Lizzie Colson, there were 4 girls involved in that play. She was the one that was least involved in that play. She's kind of out on the fringes there.
Under 2 minutes to go in this national championship game. Boston College needs a goal. Kent in front. That one deflected. Kent looking to feed. Has scored the last 2 goals for Boston College. Arsenal inside of Puzo, dropped it. But it'll be recollected by Kent with 35 on the possession clock.
there's a looks like a charge. Great call by the officials.
Great call.
And the Maryland sideline is erupting like they won. That was a huge defensive stop.
They may have just won a national championship right there on that call. It was a huge defensive stop. That play right in front of the net with Sam Puzo. She catches that ball 99 out of 100 times, and when she catches it, she finishes it nearly 100 out of 100 times. Great call.
So Maryland will be a man down for less than a minute as we approach the final 60 seconds of this national championship game. Looking for their third title in 5 years and the 14th in program history.
This is the matchup we've been waiting for all season long.
BC just doing anything they can to get the ball back right now.
And a timeout taken, Kathy Reese and Maryland with possession, a 2-goal lead, and 35 seconds left to go for another national championship heading to College Park.
Feel great for the Maryland team, feel great for their seniors as well. There are more than just the BC seniors who are out here playing today. Maryland's got a good group as well, but you have to at least start feeling a little bit for this Boston College senior class. 3 straight title games. They've had great careers. It's been a great run, but to walk away without a national championship, which it feels like right now, is heartbreaking.
Although I've seen goals scored in 6 seconds, so they're going to come out fighting to the end. This Maryland team, they've tasted the agony of defeat as well. They've won the senior classes, won the national championship, but they've been there on the losing end.
Let's go through the game summary while we have a chance, Sheehan. Brindy Griffin, 9 goals in this championship weekend, 6 of which came in the semifinal game against Northwestern on Friday. The dynamic duo of Apuzzo and Kent have done as much as possible to keep Boston College in this game, but it's been the 5 yellow cards and the 26 fouls that has played a huge difference in this game.
I also think it's been the role players for Maryland that have made a huge difference in this game. And we've talked about it basically the entire Final Four, where BC is so reliant on 3 or 4 players. Maryland, can go to 7 players and sometimes 8 or 9, and they just have more depth.
Let's go down to Hallie.
I was in the Maryland huddle, and Coach Kathy Reese addressing her team. She said, listen, we are man down. They are going to double you. You need to handle it. And if you don't have anywhere to go, you go to goal. So she is still giving her team the green light. They can still shoot.
Great insight there. Yeah, they got to be ready to handle the pressure right now. 26 seconds left on the penalty.
So Shane, explain that strategy, because as you pointed out earlier, when you're this desperate, and it is desperation time for BC, you'll tend to pull your goalie. You're almost begging Maryland to shoot there, correct?
Yeah, and then, Boston College, 3 goals in 35 seconds is a big hurdle, but you need the ball back. So you're going to do everything in your power to try to get it back, double team. They need to make sure that they really try to limit their fouls right now, and especially the yellow cards. But I think Kathy Reese is right. What you don't want is a turnover like right at the restraining line. You need to make sure that you get it down, and if you have got to score as your last result, you go do that.
But I know it sounds strange, but if you're BC, you almost want them to score, because the only chance you have to get the ball back is by having another draw.
Exactly, and the goal is empty right now. They pulled Lauren Daly off the field, so have just an extra field player out there.
Boston College still with the man-up opportunity, but do not have possession. Brindy Griffin, a hat trick in this national championship game.
And for me, she has been, Brendan Griffin, the best player in this Final Four.
She's been phenomenal. And she stepped out right there, so big play for Boston College.
Full strength, and now a timeout taken by Keisha Walker-Weinstein. And the Eagles down by 2 with just over 7 seconds to go.
So the coaching staff is talking to the referee because they claim they called that timeout right when she walked out of bounds, and that would maybe add another 6 or 7 seconds to the clock, which obviously time very valuable right there.
Sam Apuzzo, reigning Tewaaraton winner. She and Megan Taylor battling back and forth for the sport's highest honor.
And I don't know what you do here with 7.5 seconds to go, and you need 2 goals here. Have you ever seen anything like this? Is it even possible at this point?
I don't know if you can do. I've seen definitely a goal within 6 seconds, 2 within 10 maybe.
Okay. If they drop all the way, just come get the ball.
So right now they're trying to determine how much time is left. Oh, wow, 17 seconds there when she's going.
So she stepped out with about 16 left, and that's when BC is claiming they called the timeout. I got a late horn.
So that's a big difference.
That's a big difference. Now the clock is still running here. She walked out again. She stepped out at 16, keep in mind.
So they add another 5 seconds, so it'll be 12.5 seconds with a 2-goal deficit to work with for Boston College.
Now that is doable, but I mean, there's no time to waste. You gotta go.
You must need that Christian Leitner Duke play right now, and then a draw, and then another one of those, you know?
If you're Boston College, you're channeling your inner Doug Flutie right now. Looking for some kind of miracle to somehow tie this game up with 12 seconds left to go.
You started there, you're ending there, you brought it full circle, my friend. BC just has to heap it up into the offensive end here, right? So number 14, Jillian Riley for Boston College is right around midfield. She's wide open, so you have to figure the pass is going to go there. Maybe one more pass and shot. Nearly impossible situation here for Boston College.
It'll be Brooke Troy, 28 maroon, taking it off the restart for Boston College. You know, this week, Maryland's players had said it would be a surreal moment to win a championship in their home state, and the dream becomes a reality for the 3rd time in 5 years. The Maryland Terps are national champions.
Just looking at both sidelines here, it's hard to not notice Coach Walker-Weinstein and just how disappointed she is that she couldn't. Could we talk to her before the Final Four about how badly she wanted to win a Final Four national championship for this senior class? And